Hello, and welcome to Cooking with Todd. This is Todd. For today's video, I've decided to do some cheesy scalloped potatoes. For this recipe, you're going to need 3 tablespoons of butter. You're going to need 2 large cloves of garlic. This is 3 since I had a small and a medium there. You're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. You're going to need 32 grams of all-purpose flour, or 1/4 cup. You are going to need 237 milliliters of chicken broth. This can be reconstituted in water. You're also going to need 237 milliliters of heavy cream. You're also going to need 237 milliliters of whole milk. You can use whatever you would prefer, that being fat-free, skim, or 1%, or 2%. You're also going to need, and that 237 ml is about 1 cup. You're going to need some cheese slices. You are also going to need 1.5 kilos of white or yellow potatoes. That is about 3 pounds. You're also going to need 1 onion. To get started, you're going to want to go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And I am going to go ahead and clear my board off, and I will go ahead and show you what I'm going to do first. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to peel your potatoes. And I am using a serrated peeler, which you do not have to do this. You can do this the good old-fashioned way with a paring knife, but this I just prefer, as it is just a little easier for me. And you're going to want to peel these, and you're going to want to keep these in a water bath, which I do not have set up right now, which I am not really worried because I'm going to rinse these before I go on to the next step. I will go ahead and just bring you back when I get ready to go to the next step. Okay, so my potatoes have been peeled and rinsed now. And what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to get a mandolin. You do not have to use one of these, but this just makes it so much easier and your pieces are so much more uniform. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and do a couple slices. And now you're going to want to go ahead and put your guard on. And go ahead and just do like this. Now you're going to want to go ahead and put these in a bowl in some ice water so these do not oxidize. So you're going to want to go ahead and have these go into a bowl in some cold water. And I would definitely want to use this guard. It is no fun when you end up cutting 1/8 of an inch of skin off of your thumb because you think you can use one of these without the guard. And you can see that these are quite thin, and that is what you want for a scalloped potato. And also an advantage of keeping these sitting in some cold water for a little bit is it's helping some of the starches. Even though a yellow potato is a very light starchy potato compared to something like a russet. Letting it sit in water will actually help some of that starch leach away. Okay, so I have all of these done, and they are sitting in some tap cold water. And I will go ahead and just bring you back once I get all this transferred, and I am getting ready to start the next step. Okay, so I'm back now, and now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your onion, cut it in half. I like to keep the cut side down for the other half, and you're going to want to just cut it like this, and then you're going to want to kind of angle your knife down, and about a little under halfway, you're going to want to go like that, and then up at the top like this again, and then you're just going to proceed to chop. And then you're going to want to flip that and then cut the ends off, and then that's what you're left with, just that little bit of scrap. And you're going to want to do the same thing for the other half. Just go like this, then like that, then you're just left with that little bit of scrap. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your butter in your pan. I'm going to go ahead and just flip this camera angle, and I will bring you right back. Okay, so you're going to want to go ahead and just add in your butter into the pan. And this is 3 tablespoons. And you are going to want to melt this down. And you're going to want to have your skillet at pretty much a medium heat. I had mine just a little bit lower because I had it sitting here preheating while I was slicing my potatoes. I'm just going to go ahead and let that sit there for a little bit and let it do its thing. Okay, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and just add in. And you're going to want to saute this for just a little bit till they're about translucent. And I'm thinking this is going to need a little bit of additional oil, so I'm going to go ahead and put in about a tablespoon of olive oil because I don't want to cool off my pan too much since my butter is in my refrigerator. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to take about 5 minutes. You will definitely see once these get translucent. I will just go ahead and just bring you back at that time once they get translucent. Okay, so these are not quite translucent yet, but they are getting to that stage. I'm going to go ahead and just crush in my 2 cloves of garlic, but I have 3 here since I'm getting down towards the center of my bulb. And if you're familiar with garlic, once you get to the center, the garlic starts looking a little pathetic. And that is one of the advantages of having a garlic press. You do not have to skin your garlic. And I'm going to go ahead and just let this go about another minute, and I'm going to lower my heat to a medium-low. Okay, so I'm happy with this. It's not quite translucent like I want, but it is good enough. It will go ahead and finish in the oven. What you're going to want to go ahead and do is you're going to want to go ahead and measure out your milk, which that should be 237 mils, or 1 cup. And you're going to want to go ahead and add this in. And you're going to want to kind of stir, since this is kind of hot. You're going to want to kind of just temper it a little bit, because you don't want the milk to scald since the pan is hot. And I just splashed everywhere, which is fine. And you're also going to want to add in your vegetable or chicken broth, I should say. And I am using Better Than Bouillon, which is the absolute bomb. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and stir with that to get that dislodged. And you're going to want to add 1 cup of water, or 237 mils. And I like to do the milk first, that way I can rinse out the residual milk with the water. Also, before this gets too hot, you're also going to want to go ahead and add in your 32 grams or 1/4 cup of flour. And you are going to want to whisk this in. Normally I would add this in with the vegetables, but me being me, I just realized I should have done that before adding the milk and broth, but it should not really affect the end result all that much, since this is going to be cooking for over an hour and a half in the oven. The only reason you'd want to add the flour in before your liquids is to cook off the excess flour taste. And honestly, for this, I don't think that really matters, because it will be going in the oven. So once this thickens up just a little more, I will go ahead and add in the 1 cup of cream, which is probably what I have in there. I probably got 1.5 cups. Yeah, I'm going to say I got 1.5 cups in there. I might end up using all of that. I am not quite sure at this time. I'm going to go ahead and just raise my heat just a little bit, back up to a medium. Okay, so right about now, I'm going to go ahead and add in my 1 cup of heavy cream. Right about there. And go ahead and give this another mix. And I'm going to raise this up to about a medium-high to bring the pan back up to temperature. And now, since it is almost time to start assembling, I'm going to go ahead and just open up my sliced cheese. I will just go ahead and just bring you back when it gets to the next point. Okay, so I got my cheese slices, and my sauce mixture is over off to the side, and it is pretty much done at this point. What I went ahead and did is I lined my 9x13 cake pan with some aluminum foil, and I only did that because my cake pan is really weird, and it is like that, and it does not like really liquidy items or casseroles and so on and so forth. So I just line it with aluminum foil, and it saves me the headache of having to put it on a cookie sheet. And I'm going to go ahead and spray it with some Pam. I just happen to have it with flour, which ain't going to really affect the end result. I'm going to go ahead and just add that salt and pepper into my sauce mixture. Okay, so that is done. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab some potatoes, and you are going to want to just start throwing them in there. You're probably going to want to go ahead and just use about half of these for the first layer. Okay, so that's good enough for me. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to give this one last mix, and I'm going to pour about half of this over it. About like that. And I'm going to smooth the top out to try and disperse that sauce mixture. And I'm going to go ahead and add in the cheese that broke up. And a couple more slices from this. Not really going for perfection right now. This is just to give this a little bit of cheese. And I'm going to go ahead and layer on more potato. And just go ahead and try and even those out. Once again, you're not trying to go for perfection here. And I'm going to go ahead and add the last of the sauce. And I am going to try and spread that out as evenly as possible. And I am going to go ahead and cover this with my cheese. And then you are going to want to go ahead and bake this at the 350 degrees or 180 C. And you're going to want to bake this covered for, I believe it's about 45 minutes, something like that. Then you're going to want to go ahead and uncover this, and you're going to want to bake this for an additional half hour to 45 minutes. And then the last 3 minutes, you're going to want to put this in the broiler to brown the top layer of cheese. I hope everybody likes this video. I hope everybody will smash that like and subscribe button like it's nobody's business. And I hope you continue to come along with me on this journey of mine. And as always, thanks for watching.